Good evening or morning. Time is a construct and I know nothing. My name's Brianna Chavez Chacon.
I'm Loretta King.
I'm Christopher Brooks.
And today the media representation we'll be talking about for this particular cultural group is kind of unconventional, but we'll be delving into the world of late night comedians. So the more that we researched about this cultural group, the more questions that we had. So we ask you to bear with us a little bit, but we'll basically be studying the cultural representation of late night comedians and their cultural impact on society, and ask the question, what could be learned from this cultural group? If it sounds like a lot of crazy questions, good. It is that point in the semester we're feeling really insane. Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you. Broadcast media has always had a fickle relationship with the programs of the present day news as far as political and life satire. We know these shows as late night television. This is where savvy comedians become the moderators between the previewers of your evening news and the real world. Saturday Night Live has been presenting political satire for decades. But have you been paying attention to what the broadcast media response to it is? In her 2013 essay, When Parody and Reality Collides, Heather Lemire pointed out that broadcast dismisses the importance of the dialogue or the content by focusing on the character development, like Alec Baldwin's Trump or Tina Fey's Palin. The disturbing part of the media, for the media, is that they have to report on what these comics are doing. And when it's in direct conflict with their corporate image or their corporate message, because it's news, they have to report it. John Carr, his study entitled No Laughing Matter, The Power of Cyberspace to Subvert Conventional Media Gatekeepers, analyzed a 2004 CNN Crossfire broadcast where Jon Stewart of The Daily Show was interviewed and impacted everything that we know about late night television. He was supposed to be promoting a book, and instead he came after them saying that they have replaced honest political analysis with bipartisan bombast. It's no longer fact-based, I guess, is what we're trying to say. It's estimated that about 150,000 people saw that original broadcast, but social media bumped it into the ionosphere. Everybody saw it and everybody knew. You know, it changed the way we saw late night television forever. As a result, Stewart was named the 2009 Time Magazine Journalist of the Year, not comedian, journalist. But CNN, shortly after his interview, they can't Crossfire. So that's some kind of power it needs to be reckoned with.
I guess it's my turn to speak now. First example that I'll be using is there's a term that I kept noticing in the journals that I was looking over called the Tina Fey effect. And I would first like to point out that I want to get to a level in my life where I have an effect named after me.
Yes.
But that's neither here nor there. So
Goals,
I know the Tina Fey effect, as discussed by the journal, is not totally a good thing. Basically, Fey's representation of Sarah Palin during the 2008 election was so uncanny that people mistook anything Tina Fey said as something Sarah Palin said, thus negatively impacting the evaluation of Sarah Palin. So it's still hard for Sarah Palin to this day to evade that character on Saturday Night Live. To research found in the article Live from New York, it's Trump on Twitter. That's exciting, isn't it? Saturday Night Live's perceived negative media representation of Donald Trump on his show got some backlash from Trump shortly thereafter. So when Alec Baldwin debuted his character, Trump went on to say like how terrible that character was and like how trash Saturday Night Live is. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know that our presidents use the word trash, but I wouldn't be surprised. Donald Trump, so he did that, and when he criticized the show on Twitter, our president's like incessant tweeting has been regarded as unbefitting of a president and like preceding him. But people that already actively engage with his Twitter and are followers of him actually found this to better their perception of him. So they found him to be more credible because he stood up for himself and he doesn't care what people have to think because he thinks what he thinks. But they had just agreed with that, so they found him to be more credible.
I want to know who they're interviewing about these things.
I know that was pretty
Who are the
interesting.
people that are saying that they love that this was a strength?
For our own personal beliefs aside, from a research standpoint, this is incredible. Like, it's just so interesting to me. But,
Well,
great.
for me, something that I was looking at whenever you talk about the media, we're talking about comedy, especially late night comedy. It seems like that Saturday Night Live seems to be the kind of on center stage here for this conversation, I would give the MVP award, to Kate McKinnon for the 2016 election and just her role as playing Hillary Clinton. There was a period right after the election we see where Kate McKinnon, she comes on to Saturday Night Live and she's dressed as Hillary Clinton, and she's going through this whole thing of singing Hallelujah. And this is just something where we saw how she was able to take for what a lot of the country was a very scary moment or just a time of uncertainty. I know people were crying, and not for tears of happiness, really just trying to figure out what went wrong, what happened. Well, thanks to Kate McKinnon and the rest of the cast there, Saturday Night Live, she came in singing this song and really bringing a sense of humor to it, to be able to really help those of us that were grieving over these unexpected events. So we really see how she really was able to switch it and turn that emotional response for a lot of people to be able to address it, but to be able to address it in a way that people could really digest it.
Well, I think that put the lid on that.
Yeah, this was a very interesting conversation. I think that, I think we really covered a lot of good.
The great thing about studying late night comedians is that there's like countless articles and countless journals talking about their impact on society, but that's also the frustrating part about this project, is that there was so much material to cover and we had to nitpick.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's been nice.
It's been nice. You know what? We gotta go. It's time to finish up.
Oh,
thank
hey,
you.
it's been fun, huh?
Yeah.
Great. Good stuff.
Great. Good stuff.
That's it for us.
That is so funny.